So it's that time of the month again where I pick the books that I'm going to be reading for next month. Just like last time, for this TBR I'm going to be choosing my book for the Buzzword Reading Challenge and then trying to select a total of about 5 books in total from the Pop Sugar Challenge, with like doubling up on as many prompts as possible. And there is also my Back to the Classics Challenge as well. So we will start with the book that I'm going to be reading for the Buzzword Reading Challenge, and the prompt for March is a book with a location in the title, and thankfully I can double up with my Back to the Classics pick for this one, and I'm going to go with The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. This is one of my slightly thicker classics, so hopefully we can get this one done in a month. So this is another sort of gothic horror / romance. I think that's basically what all of the Bronte sisters did, but I also know that this one was quite subversive for its time, because I believe the main character was actually a divorcee, and obviously back in this time period that was like completely unheard of. So I'm excited to get to that one. I feel like I say that in all of these. I'm excited to get to that one. Like, why would I read a book if I wasn't excited about the prospect of reading it? So I don't know how to stop myself from saying that, because it just seems like a good end to a description of a book is, yes, I'm excited for that one. Once again, I'm going to put the stack here as we go. So that is both the Back to the Classics pick and the Buzzword Reading Challenge pick, so we are on good go. Okay, so now we are continue going down our list of the Pop Sugar Challenge, so I'm going to have to keep that here. So what the first prompt that I can fulfill with the books that I currently have on my shelves is a book with a protagonist who uses a mobility aid. And for that one, I'm going to go with Aurora Burning, which is the second in the Aurora Cycle series. I read the first one last year. And this is like an ensemble cast, so there isn't a specific protagonist. However, one of the main characters uses a full body like exosuit because he grew up in very low gravity and therefore can't really move around in regular gravity very well. He gets very tired very easily and his limbs are quite weak. So I feel like that is a mobility aid. It helps him move around and it helps him function in society. So we're going to go for that one. Started off good with 2 thick boys. So the next one is actually one that fulfills 2 prompts. The first prompt that it fulfills is a book talk recommendation. Yeah. And the second one is a Own Voices SFF science fiction and fantasy book. So that one is going to be Iron Widow by Ziranje Zhao. Once again, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And also another one which is like, oh, so gorgeous. Such a gorgeous cover. I'm so excited to read this one. I know I've said that about everything else, but I really, really am for this one. This was recommended to me via TikTok, via the actual author of this book, and all I know about it is that it is Pacific Rim set in Imperial China, so that was basically all I needed to sell it to me. Yes. Big stack for March. Glad this isn't the February stack, because I think I need a longer month to get through these. Okay, the next one, oh god, is going to make it probably really even harder to fill this because I'm picking another thick book. But it is a book with cutlery on the cover or in the title. So I'm going with my copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I don't know if you can tell, there is a teaspoon here. So that is the cutlery. This is the entire series in one book, so I may, just for my own sanity, read the first book, which is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, so this contains all 4 in the trilogy. Yes, I know how that sounds. So we're going to go with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and if I have more time and if I'm like fully in love with this, I'm just going to keep going. But, like, damn. Look at that. Look how Okay, and the last book that I'm going to go for the month of March, I highly doubt I'm going to have enough time to mood read after this because of just the sheer size of all of these that I've picked, is going to be a book with a character on the ace spectrum. And I have been informed that Dread Nation fulfills that prompt, which is good because this is another book that I've been like dying to get to. This is a book set during, it's like in an alternate universe during the American Civil War, I believe, but there are zombies about, and so a school that raises people to basically be able to fight the zombies exists, but it is mostly staffed by people of colour who are also trying to fight for their own freedom at the same time. The whole concept is just like really imaginative and really, really interesting. So this is another one where I just really, really like the cover as well. And also it's got these weird deckled edges that like confuse me. But anyway. Wow. Good thing I just said I was going to go for 5 books in total because I don't think I'm going to get through more than this. Really. So, that is my March TBR. It is a big book month, so if this doesn't make big books less intimidating, or it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to stop big books being intimidating, or it's going to make them even worse. So... I mean, as I've said before, there are none of these that I'm like tentative about, other than maybe this one just because it's a classic, and classics are always a bit harder to get through because of the language used within it, I believe. But that's like just my own personal opinion. The language tends to be harder and therefore it takes longer to read. The other ones, I know that Aurora Burning will probably, despite the size, be not that long of a read for me because I know Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff's writing style and it's not difficult. Other than that, yes. But back up here. So, have you read any of the books that are on my current March TBR? Did you love them? Did you hate them? What's on your March TBR? I always love to hear what other people are reading to add to my ever-growing and already enormous TBR and books that I want to buy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and maybe subscribing if you want to see more from me, but absolutely no pressure. Follow me on Instagram. I post about the books that I'm reading sort of as I'm reading them. If you want slightly more in-depth sort of reviews of each book as I go along, there is a link in the description below. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.